Good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Lose your eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Lose your eye, 1-on-1. Lose your eye. Oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocks back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. That one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevi Roy. My goodness, Sevi Roy with a left-footed banger.
We are the MHSSCA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSSCA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Northwestern is up from 12, now at 10.
Voice of Michigan Student Athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSSCA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game. We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential. Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed, with pressure, and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with their off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players. Visit our website.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
I'm a husband. I'm a father.
I'm a sister.
I'm a son. I'm a brother.
I'm a daughter. I'm a sister.
I'm a referee.
I'm a referee.
I am a referee.
I'm a referee.
In for Baccarat, and that goes in! Buckley. Oh, the ball falls to Buckley. One-on-one with Etheridge. What a save!
Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for girls soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrat.
Ball comes in, a good head! 1-0! Shot, another save from Etheridge! Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0! Burzma, but then for Vlasma! 3-0! Stewart Heiss with a shot! Upper 90 and in!
Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos.
Mario Canoe now finds Stock. Finds Stock's got a left-footed banger. He shoots it! It's in! The Red Hawks equalize!
To the National Soccer Network. Today we have the MSN High School Preview. We'll go over the top 20 teams in the state of Michigan of all 4 divisions, and we can't wait to get things started. My name is Giovanni Mosheri. The newsman over here to my side is Dan Stickrat. We appreciate you joining in for the High School Rankings Series.
This is the Teams to Watch presented by the Michigan High School Soccer Coach Association. So we'll go down 20 teams in each of the 4 divisions that the Coach Association feels are slated for big years. We'll see later in the year who are the sleeper picks, who's going to win. The state championships come November. We have a record 72 conferences that will be decided here in October. We welcome in 3 new conferences in the state of Michigan, the River Cities League, which is Grand Rapids, Muskegon area. We have the Northern Shores Conference, which is Sheboygan, Petoskey, Traverse City area. And we have what I love, the Big Thumb Conference, which is a growing conference. A bunch of smaller conferences up in the Thumb area of the state merged this summer to form the Big Thumb Conference. And then the Jack Pine Conference up in the central part of the state now has 7 boys teams and 8 girls teams. So we'll see if they'll end up ending kind of a conference schedule. A lot of those schools have been competing in the Northern Michigan Soccer League here the last 10 to 20 years. So a lot going on here at the Michigan Soccer Network. We see the National Soccer Network logo in the background. That was unveiled last night during the Flint City Bucks friendly with Inter Detroit. And we're busy. We'll be talking about it in the months and years to come, our vision, what we have coming down the pipeline. And then more recently, we're going to have over the next 3 weeks, a lot of high school soccer previews on our website at MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. So we have sent out surveys to 520 athletic directors and athletic secretaries. Over 350 coaches have received an email from us. So we're asking each and every coach from across the state, please send us a list of your top players and how you did last year, what you expect for this year, and then please forward a roster as well. So with that being said, the 2024 season is here.
It all starts here. We'll be getting into starting with the top 20 teams in Division 4. When we get back from here, let's go take a look. You talked about the National Soccer Network. Let's go and take a look a little bit about what we got going on.
He'll cut it back on his left foot, and that goes in! Towards the 6, a one-time shot, and it's 2. Now one with Etheridge, what a save! One-time shot! My goodness!
Tell you what, that looks sweet. I'm ready to go, Dan. How about you?
Yeah. I've seen the promos the last couple of weeks of this being fitted together. There's been a discussion here for the better part of 2 years, but the National Soccer Network has been born. The Michigan Soccer Network will be one of their flagship productions by the National Soccer Network as we begin to spread our wings in a multitude of states. The future is bright. We have had demand from a lot of amateur teams, high school associations, small colleges in a multitude of states that have, stepped out to us the last couple of years asking about coverage, setting up broadcasts, helping them with, the media portions of different stuff. So we are taking the next big steps here. I can't wait to see what we'll look back, 4 or 5 years down the road where we'll be at. The journey has just begun. We've cemented ourselves, our roots. We'll stay here in Michigan. It's been a fabulous, 2.5 years here at MSN, and we will continue to grow our coverage in the state of Michigan. We will branch off, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, California, Florida, Texas, wherever the call is made, we will continue to spread our wings, branch off, and kind of deliver the same things that we have delivered here in Michigan the last couple years into other states. So I look forward to the journey. I don't know what it's all going to look like in 4 or 5 years, but I know it's going to be something very special. So glad to be part of this ride, and as we continue to spread our wings.
That's right, and if you don't want to miss a single thing from all the beautiful growth that we're going to have here at the National Soccer Network, as well as the Michigan Soccer Network, then you got to subscribe right here. Whether you're watching on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Roku, be sure to follow us all the places that you can to not miss a bit of the soccer action. And getting into some of that soccer action, let's go take a look at the Division 4. We're not going to be looking and in order in terms of rankings. We're going to be looking at them alphabetically as the top 20 teams to keep an eye on throughout the season as some of the best teams that the state of Michigan has to offer in Division 4. So let's go and take a look, going down the list of all the teams, like I said, alphabetical order. We got Allen Park, Inner City Baptist, making the list alongside Bloomfield Hills Roper, Byron, Center Zion Christian, Clarkston Everett Collegiate, Granville Calvin Christian, Grosse Pointe Woods University Leggett, Harbor Springs, Hillsdale Academy, Jackson Christian, Kalamazoo Christian, Kalamazoo Hackett Catholic Central, Lansing Christian, Leland, Lutheran Westland, Madison Heights Bishop Foley, Muskegon Western Michigan Christian. They are the reigning D4 champions in 2023. We go down to North Muskegon, North Point Christian, Royal Oak Shrine, and we wrap up the alphabetical list with Saginaw Valley Lutheran.
A lot to say about each one of these teams. They're all coming off, very good seasons in 2023. We'll start at the top. Muskegon Western Michigan Christian are two-time defending Division IV state champs. 2 years ago, the Warriors won it all as an unranked team. They got hot late in the regular season. They played a lot of bigger schools and winning the Division IV state championship. Last year, they spent the entire season in the top 5 and ended up the top of the pyramid last November. We had the first time ever that we had all 4 state finals in the MIHSSCA at one site. That was over at Grand Ledge High School west of Lansing. They're going to be back there again this November. So that's only about 11 weeks away. So it'll be here before we know it. But a lot of very good teams on this list. Allen Park Inner City Baptist, Bloomfield Hills Roper, they're in the Michigan Independent Athletic Conference along with Lutheran Westland farther down the list. So that's a very tough conference in Division 4. Those 3 schools will challenge out along with 2 schools not on the list, Rochester Hills, Lutheran Northwest, and Auburn Hills, Oakland Christian. Byron Center, Zion Christian has been one of the best teams in Alliance League out near Grand Rapids the last few years. Clarkston Everett Collegiate's been a mainstay in that top 15, top 20 Division 4 the last decade. Grosse Pointe Woods University Leggett. They're one of the many Catholic League teams that we'll see on the list in all 4 divisions. They were in the state finals here about 10 years ago, and they have been to multiple deep runs in the postseason. Harbor Springs up near Petoskey, they're a program definitely on the rise. They returned most of their team last year. They're sophomore heavy. They have another great group of 8th graders that will be here next year, so look for Harbor Springs to make some deep runs here the next few years. Granville Calvin Christian, they come from the Ottawa-Kent Conference. That whole league kind of shuffled around. 7 schools left the Ottawa-Kent Conference. There are still 6 divisions, but they'll be one of the top teams in that silver division. Hillsdale Academy is an independent in boys soccer. Jackson Christian comes out of the Independent Soccer League. Kalamazoo Christian and Kalamazoo Hackett Catholic Prep. They're both out of the Valley Division of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Look for those two teams to challenge in the Valley Division. There's two divisions, the Valley and the Lakeshore. Lansing Christian, always a top 15 team up in the Lansing area. Leland, the defending champions in the Northwest Conference up by Traverse City. Leland's made multiple Final Four runs here in the last decade. Madison Heights Bishop Foley, they graduated quite a bit, but they still should have a good team. They were your runner-up last year, first time since 1997 that the Ventures got to the state finals. North Muskegon was 500 last year, but expect them to be one of the top teams in the West Michigan Conference this season. And then at the bottom, Royal Oak Shrine, another Catholic League powerhouse. They always seem to, be one of the top teams in their division, the CHSL. And then Saginaw Valley Lutheran. They come out of the Tri-Valley Conference. So the Tri-Valley Conference did lose a few schools this year. 3 of them joined the Jack Pine Conference. Another one left to go to the Big Thumb Conference. We talked about them. And then a 5th school went to Birch Run, departed down to the Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference. So we'll look to watch all these teams to progress throughout the course of the season. I'm sure there'll be a few others that will join the mold. And again, next week, the Coach Association will unveil the top 15 ranking, plus honorable mention. Each division will do that up and through the beginning of the state tournament.
Yeah, and Danny, you were talking about it's not just college football that has conference realignment. High school boys soccer is included in that as well.
Yeah, there's like over 75 schools across the state of Michigan that switch conferences. It was an extremely high volume of schools. And then, like I said, the Ottawa-Kent Conference completely redrafted. Close to 20 schools in that mega conference switched divisions. 7 schools did depart. We saw a lot of leagues lose a school, pick up a pair, and so there's a lot of shuffling. There's a lot of reasons why schools every now and then do change conferences. But that being said, 72 conferences, I believe, will crown a conference champion here come mid-October.
Yeah, it's a wide variety of different places in the state of Michigan, shapes and sizes, all that. That's what we love about high school soccer, is that you get such an unbelievable variety, different backgrounds for each of the students coming in, different clubs they play for. It's just such a beautiful, diverse mix. That's why we love covering it here on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Yeah, and last year we had the Upper Peninsula back into the fold. They went 15 years where they had to conduct their own state tournament. There's only about 14 programs in the Upper Peninsula. Last year they were able to enter the MHSSCA tournament. Kingsford in Division III, Marquette Division II, 1 district champion. So we'll see how that plays over the next few years as teams begin to grow up in the Upper Peninsula, how much of an effect that will have on the postseason moving forward. But a lot of Division IV schools in the UP. I believe there's 7 or 8 Division IV schools that will be participating in the MHSSCA tournament this fall as well.
Yeah, and if you're watching there, and if you're watching at home, whether once again, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Twitter, if you think that your team is deserving of being within the rankings, whether it's the top 20 here in the preseason or in the top 15 as we go through the boys' season, then your way to get your team mentioned and give your team a little bit more attention is to go through your high school coach and have them contact their division chair. That's the only way for your team to have a better shot at getting into the rankings. It's no guarantee, but that's the route to get to do it. And we'll be talking about the division chairs later in the broadcast so you know who to get the attention of.
Yeah, so again, verify. We've talked about this last couple seasons. Yes, coaches only can email or give a phone call to their division chair. They will not entertain a barrage of emails from parents, administrators, student athletes, and soccer fans. It must be a varsity coaching staff member to be able to submit if you feel like your team should be considered for the top 15 or honorable mention in one of the 4 divisions.
Yeah, and obviously with all this stuff, when we talk about it here in the broadcast and as well as on the pitch, sportsmanship, politeness, respectfulness. That's all we ask here to make sure your team has a better shot of making the list here. And Dan, I'm excited to get to D3 here, and we got D2 and D1 coming up. We'll be announcing the high school broadcast contest winners. We got 5 high schools that are going to be winning a broadcast here from MSN, and we'll give you a little hint here. It's from all over the mitten here is where we'll be traveling to. So we'll get to that in just a minute here. D3 is coming up right here on the MSN High School Preseason Ranking Show.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back, everybody, to MSN. We're going over the boys' preseason top 20 in each of the 4 divisions in the state of Michigan. My name is Giovanni Mosheri. That's the newsman, Dan Stickrat here. And we're getting ready to cover Division 3 here. If you're not subscribed already to the Michigan Soccer Network, come on, just hit the button down below. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you can find us to not miss a bit of the action here from MSN. And Dan, before we get into the Division 3 top 20, take a look at the studio. This is a nice place here.
Yeah, we are expanding in all sense. We've upgraded our studios here in Shelby Township, Michigan. Again, we just talked about last night the National Soccer Network was officially released. I can't wait to see what comes down the pipeline here over the next couple of years. But so much happening. It's exciting to be out of summer break. All the amateur seasons are done. High school is starting. College soccer is starting. You know, a lot of the clubs are starting. So it's a special time of year as you get into mid to late August. And it's also time to talk a little bit about Division 3.
Let's get Division 3 rolling here. We'll go down alphabetically the top 20 teams to keep an eye on throughout this season before we cut it down to the top 15 going throughout the rest of the season. Let's get things started alphabetically once again. Alma makes the cut here for the top 20, followed by Almont, Chesaning, Detroit Country Day, Eaton Rapids, Elk Rapids, Fenville, Flint Powers Catholic, Fremont, Gladwin, Grand Rapids North Point Christian, Grosse Ile, Hartford, Imlay City, Kingsford, Macomb Lutheran North, Milan, Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, Williamston, and Wyoming Lee make the top 20.
And since Hudsonville Unity Christian was the state champion last year, the Crusaders, along with Grand Rapids South Christian, 2 perennial powerhouse in Division 3, have moved up to Division 2, so there will be a new champion in Division 3 this season. Detroit Country Day, one of the most storied programs in state history. They have won more state championships, been to more Final Fours, more runner-up than just about any other school. They're one of the top teams to beat. You look at this list overall. Alma had a great season coming out of the Tri-Valley Conference last season. They got to the Final Four, first time in school history, so Alma still has some very good players back. We'll see if they're able to have a repeat performance here in 2024. Almont comes out of the Blue Water Area Conference. They'll be one of the leading teams in that league. Algonac brought back boys soccer, so all 8 schools in the BWAC will have soccer this fall. Chesaning was a great story last year. They won the Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference. They had their best season in school history. They did lose in the district final, but they only had 1 loss last season. So Chesaning kind of came out of nowhere, one of those sleeper picks, one of those teams that a lot of people didn't talk about in the preseason, but they broke into the rankings early October last year. And again, they came off the best season in school history. Eaton Rapids comes out of the Red Division of the Capital Area Athletic Conference. They're another program on the rise. Elk Rapids was really young. They've been to several Final Fours here in the last decade. They're part of that new conference, the Northern Shores Conference. We talked about there at the end of Division 4. So they'll have some great battles with the likes of Harbor Springs, Grayling, Sheboygan. There's a bunch of other schools in that conference as well. Fenville comes out of the Lakeshore Division of the Southwest Athletic Conference, so I believe there's 15 schools in that mega conference that have soccer, so Fenville's been pretty much a steady force. They've challenged finishing the top 3 of that conference for several years. Flint Powers Catholic, we've talked about that in the past situation. Division 3 school, but they play mainly Division 1 and Division 2 schools up in the Saginaw Valley League. They'll be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in that league this season, so Powers, expect a lot out of them as well. Fremont, great story. Last year they got to the Elite 8 for just the 2nd time in their school history. They come out of the West Michigan Conference, so the Packers made a great run last year. We'll see if they can have another repeat performance as well. Gladwin comes out of the Northern Michigan Soccer League. They've been consistently double digits in wins here for about 20 years in a row. They spent a lot of time in the top 15. We'll see if they're able to get to the Final Four this season. Grand Rapids North Point Christian, they're out of the Silver Division of the Ottawa Kent Conference. They stayed put. They did not change divisions within that conference. Grosse Ile Division Chair John Evans has done a great job with Grosse Ile. They have been consistently a top 15 team in Division 3 for more than a decade. They were somewhat young the last 2 years. They'll be a lot more older, a lot more experienced this year, so they'll engage in the title chase in the Huron League. There's 4 or 5 good teams in the Huron League. We'll see New Boston Huron, a Division 2 school down the list here. We have Milan. They're another team that has been one of the top teams in the Huron League. They lost a little bit of their offensive firepower, but expect them to do well. Imlay City has been one of the top teams in the BWAC, the Blue Water Area Conference. We talked about Almont out of there as well. Imlay City always challenges in that conference. 2 years ago, they got to the regional finals in Division 3. Kingsford. They had never won a district final before the lawsuit, which forced a lot of sports teams out of season. They won that court case last August, so the UP schools allowed back into the MIHSSCA tournament, and Kingsford had a great season, only lost 2 games, won their first district in school history last year, got all the way to the regional semifinals before they lost to Fremont. Macomb Lutheran North, another Catholic League AA Division team. The Mustangs always do well in boys soccer. They've won a couple state championships in their school history. We talked about Milan out of the Huron League. Expect them to do well. Pontiac Northern Prep, independent school, but they return a bulk of their team. So the Fighting Irish, this might be their best team since the early 2000s. They were state runner-up back in 2000. Williamston comes out of the Capital Area Athletic Conference. That's 3 divisions. Williamston, the Hornets are always a very good team. And Wyoming Lee. We talked about Byron Center, Zion Christian in D4. Wyoming Lee comes to the Alliance League as well, so expect Wyoming Lee to make a charge in that conference.
Yeah, and going through all these teams, and you were mentioning like a lot of, like we mentioned in the D4, a lot of kind of conference movement. You mentioned that the UP is finally now allowed to compete for the MIHSSCA State Cup, and to see kind of like expanding the horizons, allowing these high schools that are just hungry to fight for that same state championship, finally being able to get in there and not only just get there, but make a big impact. That's a huge deal, and it's great to see these like more schools get the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's around 520 schools, give or take a few, that have soccer now. It has not stopped growing since the early 1970s, when just a couple dozen teams were formed across the state of Michigan. Now we're at well over 500. And I expect as the beautiful game continues to grow and more schools will begin to add soccer. If enrollment increases, the interest is there. But it makes it that much more tougher to win a conference championship, a district, regional, state championship. Those are special moments when you can say you won some type of a crown at the end of the season. It's so much more difficult to do. And that's what makes especially the state tournament so special. There's so many good teams out there. It's really hard to predict and say these one or two teams are going to win it all. There's so many teams that have a realistic chance of getting in the Final Four and competing for a coveted state championship.
Yeah, no doubt. And when it comes to these top 20 preseason rankings and the top 15 that we're going to be doing throughout the boys' season, it's not to say that any team outside of that can't also compete for a state cup. We see a lot of teams that kind of come out from nowhere, from the shadows, if you will, and make a big impact, make a deep run, take the state title. This isn't necessarily an exhaustive list, but obviously a great look at some of the best teams. But for those teams that aren't listed, listen, it's not to say that you guys don't have a chance. You absolutely do.
Yeah, we talked about it 2 years ago in Division 4, Muskegon, Western Michigan Christian. They won the D4 state title. They were a perennial powerhouse. They've been to multiple Final Fours, have multiple state championships to their, storied history. But again, they were not ranked at all during the 2022 season. They won the state championship last year. They won it all. And they were a heavy favorite. I shouldn't say heavy. One of the favorites to win it, and they, prevailed in the end. So, what will happen in Division 3? There will be new champion. Again, Hudsonville Unity Christian, your defending state champs. Enrollment-wise, has moved up to Division 2. So we'll see what teams will get to the Final Four here in November, which teams will play in the state championship, and we'll see who the new champion will be crowned.
No doubt about it. Like we mentioned in the D4, if you think you outside the top 20 are deserving of being in the top 20 or top 15, and make sure your coach contacts the division chair of your division. You were talking about Hudsonville Union Christian being the now up in D2 after winning D3. We'll talk about D2 in just a minute right here on the MSN preseason show.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential. Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed with pressure and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with their off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players. Visit our website.
Michigan Soccer Network, man! DCFC!
The sights, the sounds of historic Keyworth Stadium. There's nothing quite like it. Each week, Jonathan Turner and Neil Rule will break down the most recent Detroit City FC USL Championship match, taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings, looking ahead to their upcoming match, and much more. Watch the Detroit City FC recap show each week on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Let's go City on the Michigan Soccer Network.
You are watching the Michigan Soccer Network.
Go City!
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Welcome back, everybody, to the MSN Boys High School Preview Show. Top 20 teams in each of the 4 divisions in the state of Michigan listed out here from the Michigan High School Soccer Coaches Association. My name is Giovanni Mosheri. Newsman Dan Stickrad to my side here. We just got done covering Division 4 and Division 3, and we're heading to the top 2 divisions. Division 2 coming up in this segment here. And to let everybody know, all the rankings that you see here will be available on the Michigan Soccer Network's website, MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Just go to MSN News, and all the rankings that we have here will be posted at 9 o'clock right after the show here, so be sure to go and visit.
Yeah, and over the course of the next 3 weeks, we'll be digging deep into all the conferences across the state of Michigan. We will preview our Super 50 teams, our top 150 players, plus other players to watch. And we'll break down the divisions. There'll be a lot of feature stories of some of the best players and teams in the state over the course of the next couple of months. In the high school state finals, it's just 11 short weeks away. So that being said, it's time for some Division II soccer.
Let's go and dig into that Division II here in alphabetical order. We'll go through the Coaches Association's top 20 to keep an eye on for this season here. We'll start with Auburn Hills Avondale, going into Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood, then Coldwater, Dearborn Divine Child, DeWitt, Forest Hills Central, Fruit Point, Grand Rapids Christian, Grand Rapids South Christian, Holland Christian, Hudsonville Unity Christian, New Boston Huron, Mason, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Plainswell, Richland Gull Lake, Wallet Lake Western, Warren De La Salle, and Zeeland West crack into the top 20 from the Coaches Association. Dan, break it down for me.
Yeah, Auburn Hills, Avondale, you know, they've kind of been a sleeper team the last couple of years. I see the Yellow Jackets can, you know, shine in the postseason. Last year they won the OAA Blue Division, the 3rd division of the OAA Mega Conference. So the Yellow Jackets are trying to defend their crown there. Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood was your state runner-up 2 years ago. They're out of the AA division of the Catholic High School League, and that's a team that always seems to excel in boys and girls soccer each and every year. So we'll see if the Cranes can make a run in 2024. Coldwater should be one of the favorites in the Interstate 8 Athletic Conference. That league last year dropped down to 7 schools, with Jackson Lumen Christi shifting over to the Catholic High School League. But Coldwater, the Cardinals should be one of the best teams in that conference. Dearborn Divine Child, another Catholic High School League AA Division team. The Falcons were consistently a top 15 team in the last couple of years. We'll see if they have some younger players. They did graduate a couple of very good players from last year, so we'll see if they can reload here this year. DeWitt, Blue Division, Capital Area Athletic Conference. DeWitt, the Panthers are always a contender in that conference year in and year out. We'll see how they'll face up with East Lansing and Okemos, maybe at Grand Ledger Holt. We'll see who emerges out of that pack. Grand Rapids Forest Hill Central, they were consistently a top 15 team last year. The Rangers should be very good again this season. They did graduate 12 players, but programs like that, they never rebuild. They always seem to reload. They got the next waves just coming in to fill those positions, so expect them to be one of the challengers in the white division of the Ottawa Kent Conference. They did not change divisions within that league. Fruitport did. Fruitport got shifted down to the silver division of the OKC. Fruitport had one of their best seasons in school history last year. They were out of the blue division last year. Now they're in the silver, but they made a run to the final 8 in Division 2. They did have Grand Rapids Christian on the ropes, 8-2 shots advantage in that regional final, but they succumbed to 1-0 to Grand Rapids Christian, which went on to win the state championship in Division 2. They're your defending champions. They won in 2021 and 2023. Grand Rapids South Christian, them along with Hudsonville Unity Christian have moved up to Division 2 for both boys and girls soccer here in 2024-25. So Unity Christian was the state champion in the boys and girls season last year, so that will open up the door again in Division 3. So Unity Christian will be one of the best teams in Division 2 this year. We expect the Crusaders to do well once again. New Boston Huron, they're coached by Matt Lividini. Lividini was 5th in the Mr. Soccer voting way back in 1991. Mr. Soccer was Travis Roy, Livonia Stevenson that year. And Lividini has helped put this program on the map the last couple of years. I expect them to be right there at the top of the Huron League this season. Mason had one of their best seasons in school history. They won a couple state championships. So last year they were state runner-up. They did fall in the finals last year. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, a program on the rise. They got to the Catholic League Conference Tournament Championship last year. And the Eaglets should have a lot of success here this season, playing well. They could be the top team in the Wolverine Conference this year. Richmond, that's a league in southwestern Michigan. There's 8 schools. That conference, they've done extremely well on the girls' side, but expect Plainwell to be one of the top teams in that league as well. Richmond Gold Lake graduated 14 players, but again, programs like that, they never seem to fully rebuild, they'll reload. They have a very good sophomore class with the Blue Devils. Wall Lake Western was one of your teams that kind of came out of nowhere last year, had perhaps their best season in a quarter century last year. They won the Lakes Valley Conference for the first time since that league was formed 10 years ago. Expect the Warriors to be very good here in 2024. Warren De La Salle, they did not have a single senior on their roster last year. They were, I think, 5th place in the Central Division of the Catholic High School League, but they kind of, the light bulb went on at the end of the season. They made a run to the Final Four. It's the first time in a long time that Warren De La Salle got to the Final Four. They bring their whole team back, plus a couple of very good newcomers, and then Zeeland West. They have moved over to the Gold Division of the Ottawa-Kent Conference. They were in the Green Division here the last couple years, but Zeeland West is another program on this list that is definitely on the rise. Expect Zeeland West to be kind of a little bit of a sleeper pick there in Western Michigan. There's so much talk about some of the teams in Grand Rapids and Hudsonville Unity Christian, but do not sleep on Zeeland West.
No doubt about it. And talk about De La Salle, like you were mentioning, coming out of nowhere. That's like when we mentioned it kind of in a previous segment here, but the teams that come out of nowhere, it's possible. It doesn't matter where you end up in, regular season conference play. If you're ready to go when the playoffs start, you could do anything, and that's one of the just the things we love about sports in general.
Yeah, and they're such a historic program. The Pilots have been very good, and Terry Mukhtar took over that program way back in 1983. He's one of the veteran coaches there. I think he's coached longer high school soccer than just about any coach, active coach right now in the high school soccer scene across the state of Michigan. But they weren't expected to be very good last year. They were very young. They started 3 or 4 freshmen. They were very young, but they made that run. So they won't be, coming up on anybody this year. They're expected to be one of the top teams in Division II.
And now we're going to be getting into, in just a little bit, Division I. And be sure to stick around afterwards as well as we reveal our 5 teams that won themselves an MSN broadcast covering the entire mitten in the state of Michigan. We'll be getting into the Division I Top 20 right after this on the MSN Preview Show.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back, everybody, to the MSN Boys Soccer Preview Show Division 1. We made it, everybody. We'll be going over to the top 20 teams from the Coaches Association of Michigan. Top 20 teams to keep an eye on as to who is going to be chasing that state cup, who's going to be going to the state finals. We'll preview it all. We set the stage here on MSN. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're watching, YouTube, Roku, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere you can find us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll be doing this every week all the way until season's end, going over the top 15 teams as we go throughout the season. But, Dan, are you ready for Division 1?
Yeah, in Division 1, we have a new chair in Steve Wilczyk of Berkeley. Steve's done a great job with his program at Berkeley. Division 1's the hardest of the 4 divisions because these are the biggest schools in the state and there's so much parity. You know, you look at the upcoming state tournament, it's 2 months away, but that's where you see throughout the entire term, you see more close games than the other 3 divisions. Not saying that the other 3 divisions aren't good. There's a lot of great teams. There's just so much, the depth overall. You look at, we have 20 teams to watch here today. There's a lot of schools out there that will be worthy of a top 15 or honorable mention ranking. Because 2 years ago in the girls' season back in 2023, there was a week where they had the top 15 in Division 1. They had like 25 schools listed as honorable mention because there was just so much parity, so many schools that were so close to each other. It was hard to pick, you know, out of that group. So, you know, expect the honorable mention list in Division 1 to be a lot longer than some of the other divisions. But be that as it may, it's time for Division 1. We'll still look at 20 schools that the Coach Association expects to do very well here in 2024.
And we will do that. We'll go through it in alphabetical order. We'll get things started with Anchor Bay getting onto the list, followed by Ann Arbor Huron. Berkeley makes the list, along with Brighton, Clarkston, Grand Blanc, East Lansing, Midland Dow, Northville, Novi, Detroit Catholic Central, Oxford, Portage Central, Rochester Adams, Rockford, Romeo, Salem, Traverse City West, Troy, Athens, and Utica Eisenhower get to our top 20 preseason in Division 1.
You will start with the defending state champs, Troy Athens. They did graduate 16 players, but they do bring back 5 starters, and Athens has only had 1 losing season in their school history about 2 decades ago. The Red Hawks, they won in 2019. They were state runner-up in 2016. I don't know how many Final Fours that program has been to since it started back in 1981, but well, yeah, as we were told, 97, they won back in 97, 81, I think 83, 84, a runner-up in 86. So Troy Athens has been, you know, one of those storied programs. So will the Red Hawks repeat or will someone else rise to the crop? There's so many schools to look at. New Baltimore, Anchor Bay, one of the most consistent schools in the Macomb Area Conference Red Division in the last 10 to 15 years. Expect the Tars again to challenge the likes of Romeo and Utica Eisenhower in that conference. Utica Eisenhower is on this list as well. The Eagles should be very good. Those are 2 very consistent programs. Berkeley, the last, you know, Steve Wilczyk took over that program back in 2010. They were 500 in 2011, but every season other than 2011, they've been well above 500. They've been a mainstay in the top half of the OAA Red Division. They've been a mainstay in the state rankings here for a better part of the last decade. Brighton was kind of projected to be very good last year. They didn't break into the rankings until the end of September, but that was a very good team. They made a run all the way to the state finals. It's just the second time in school history that the Bulldogs advanced to the finals. They were runner-up back in 1998. And the Bulldogs fell short in double overtime to Troy Athens last year. Clarkston spent a lot of time in the top spot of the regular season. They did trail off a little bit late in the regular season. They lost in the district finals to Oxford. Oxford actually won the OA Red Division. Athens was, I believe, 3rd. Berkeley was right there. There were so many teams that went down to literally the last 2 rounds of games in the OA Red Division. All 8 schools in the OA Red should be very good this year. Expect to see a lot of those schools in the top 15 or honorable mention. Grand Blanc, that was a program that started back in the late 1970s. They're the defending Saginaw Valley League champions. You know, I talked to their coach, Nick Thomas, earlier today. We talked about the history of their program. And, you know, I asked the question, when is the last time Grand Blanc did not finish in the top half of their league? And he said, probably never. So they graduated 17 players, but Grand Blanc's a very big school enrollment-wise. Expect the Bobcats to kind of reload the cannon this year. They always seem to be one of the top teams in their league. East Lansing, another staple of a program, they were bumped up to Division 1 from Division 2 about 4 years ago. The Trojans, again, will be one of the top teams in the blue division of the Capital Area Athletic Conference. Midland Dow has a new coaching staff. They were runner-up in the Saginaw Valley League this year. We expect them to be one of the challengers with Grand Blanc. Northfield got to the Final Four last year. They lost in double overtime to Troy Athens in the state semifinals. Northfield did graduate a big senior class, but when you annually have 130, 140 kids try out each and every year, the Mustangs will reload as well. So they'll be one of the top teams in that West Division of the KLAA. Novi Detroit Catholic Central, I think it's 5 Final Fours they've been to in like a 15-year period. So the Shamrocks were really young last year. They graduated 19 players from their 2022 Final Four team. They reloaded last year, but they peaked at the right time. They won a very tough district. They got to the regional finals. They ended up losing to Brighton in that regional final up at Grand Blanc. Oxford had their best team since 2002. Last year they won the OAA Red. They won a districts, first time since they moved up to Division 1 back in 2010 that they won both a league and district championship in the same season. Portage Central is consistently one of the best teams in the Southwestern Michigan Athletic Conference. They'll be right up there with the likes of Richland Gold Lake. Matawan's been very, very solid here the last decade. So there's 10 schools in that league. We'll see who else rises to the crop. St. Joseph's been steady. Battle Creek Lakeville's been on the rise. So that's a very tough, deep league, but expect Portage Central to be in the top 3 at the end. Rochester Adams won it all 2 years ago. They did graduate a nice core, but they have several MLS Next players who would join the fold this season. So Rochester Adams is going to be one of the favorites in D1. They won the girls championship here back in June. They won the boys championship 2 years ago. Rockford was their state runner-up in 2022. They come out of the Ottawa Kent Conference Red Division, another very tough league. Last year they still made a run to the Final Four. Now they've graduated over 20 players in the last 2 years, so we'll see if the Rams have enough coming up through the pipeline to keep their train going. Romeo is a team that's definitely been on the rise. They have made the jump up to the Red Division of the Macomb Area Conference. The Bulldogs have not won a district championship since 1987. That was their first and only district title. The Bulldogs are coming on strong. They have been shifted over to the district with New Baltimore Anchor Bay, so they will give a stern challenge to Anchor Bay in that district. Traverse City West, I believe, has won something like 14 straight Big North Conference championships. They have one of the best players in the state, Aiden Orth. That team just never seems to go away. They're a machine. Each and every year they graduate a handful, then other groups just slides in. So they'll be one of the top teams in the Big North Conference, and expect them to make another deep run. Troy High was a top 2 team all in 2022. Last year they reloaded. They had graduated 16 players from 2 years ago, but this year the Colts bring back over 75% of their roster, so they'll be one of those many teams trying to win the conference championship in the OAA Red Division or a district title as well. Again, that's Troy Athens and Berkeley. Rochester Adams are on that list. Oxford's on that list. Rochester's not on this list, but they're up-and-coming program. So is Birmingham Seaholm. They've had some teams ranked here in the last decade. And then, again, Utica Eisenhower, another team that never seems fade too far from the pack. They'll challenge for the Red Division championship in the MAC.
Yeah, and Dan, like we were talking about before, when it comes to compiling for the Coaches Association to compile a top 20 and even a top 15 throughout the season of Division I, there is a lot of great talent and great teams across the state. And that makes it very difficult. So when you see this top 20, it's not an exhaustive list as to the teams that can fight for that state title.
Yeah, there's probably a good 20, 25, 30 schools in Division I that we could see in an honorable mention or the top 15 over the course of the next 2 months. We'll see it all shakes down, but yes, it is here. Again, the games just started here over the weekend. This is the earliest the games have been played in MHSA history. Used to be you had to go through 2 weeks of preseason. 10 or 15 years ago, moved up to the middle of the second week. Now there were scrimmages and games this past weekend. And some schools even dive into their conferences already this week. So we're still a week and a half away from Labor Day weekend, and I'll already see conferences begin their battles towards the conference championship. So Division I is set, Division II, III, and IV, we've gone down those lists as well. I can't wait. Again, I've been working on the previews all summer. We have sent out surveys to about 520 athletic directors, athletic secretaries, over 350 coaches. We're still trying to track down emails and cell phone numbers as well. So if you are a coach in the state of Michigan, you have not sent us a roster, have not filled out the survey, please take 15 to 20 minutes of your time this week to do so, as we will begin to dig deep into the 2024 boys soccer season here across the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, all corners. We will take a deep look at some of the teams, really, from coast to coast.
From coast to coast. And let's get into the 5 teams that won themselves a broadcast that go coast to coast throughout the state of Michigan. We'll get to that next, coming up here on the Michigan Soccer Network Boys Season Preview Show.
He'll cut it back on his left foot, and that goes in! Towards the 6, a one-time shot, and it's 2. Now one with Etheridge, what a save! One-time shot! My goodness! One finds his way to the back. Banger. He shoots it! It's in!
Welcome back, everybody, to the MSN Boys High School Preview Show. We wrapped up all 4 divisions, Division 4, 3, 2, and 1. These are the top 20 teams decided upon by the Michigan High School Soccer Coaches Association. My name is Giovanni Mosheri. That's the newsman, Dan Stick, right here. We went through a lot. We covered a lot of ground today, but finally we get to the part we've all been waiting for. The 5 high schools that have won themselves a broadcast from MSN here. Let's go break it down. So the teams that have entered our contest, we sent it out to a bunch of high schools. Hey, do you want MSN to come to your school to give you a broadcast? These 5 teams, these 5 schools are the winners. Grand Rapids, South Christian, the Buchanan Bucks, DeWitt, Romeo, and Traverse City Central. You guys get ready, because you're going to be paid a visit by the Michigan Soccer Network some point during this season. Congratulations!
Yeah, it's really cool because we have 5 winners from 5 completely different parts of the state of Michigan, 5 different conferences. Traverse City Central out of the Big North Conference, Romeo out of the Macomb Area Red Division, DeWitt comes out of the Blue Division of the Capital Area Athletic Conference, Buchanan comes out of the Lakeland Conference, and then Grand Rapids South Christian comes out of the Ottawa Kent Conference. So 5 completely different conferences. They've won a free broadcast, so we'll be sending camera operators and a crew to cover one of their games. This season we'll be in communications with the coaches and athletic directors at those 5 schools moving forward. So congratulations again to those 5 schools. They won themselves a free broadcast here on the Michigan Soccer Network.
And we'll take a look here. For anyone who has a dispute and thinks that their team deserves a spot in our rankings here, then the way to do that, and I mean this in a specific way, you have to contact your high school coach, and that coach has to contact the division chairs for each division. Steve Losek, Paul Kramer, John Evans, and Jeremy Tapkus would be the ones your coach has to go in contact to give your team a chance to be listed in the top 15. It's no guarantee, but the division chairs have been told to only have responses, take responses from the high school coaches. That's a specific thing. I want everyone here to make sure you know that. Go about it the right way. Be very respectful and try and get your team on the spotlight here at MSN.
Yeah, and again, they will be entertaining just emails or phone calls from varsity coaching staff. So if you are a parent, a player themselves, a school administrator, a soccer fan in general here in the state of Michigan, just go to the coaching staff, and if they consider they're a team that should be considered for the rankings or honorable mention in their respective division, that is the proper channels to do so. So they will not be fielding thousands of emails from disgruntled parents from Lake Michigan to Lake Huron. You must go through your coach. That coach must go through the coach association. There's 4 division chairs. So that is the process. We look forward to 8 more weeks of the Michigan Soccer Network High School Ranking Show. This has been a blast. We haven't done this since the end of May on the girls' season. And I can't wait. There's so much going on. We unveiled the National Soccer Network, which will be coming to Roku. We will have a national website being built here over the course of the next 6 months. And there's just so many possibilities. Because I had a conversation the other day to kind of wrap up the show. There's just millions and millions of stories that are never told in the sport that we all love so much. The beautiful game, I mean, the written word, videos, games being live streamed, shows like the ranking shows, podcasts. There's just so much out there that, people never hear or see about because the story's never told. We hope to be on that journey to continue to do so. We've made a great impact on the state of Michigan here in the last 2.5 years. It started with a inter-squad game with the Michigan Rebels women's team about 2.5 years ago. John Turner went out to the Dome at Oakland University with a laptop and just did some play-by-play and color commentating by himself. Jonathan is our illustrious leader, the broadcast director for the Michigan Soccer Network and the National Soccer Network. We're all under the Premier Media Group umbrella. But we've come a long way in less than 3 years. There's so much more we can provide here down the pipeline. I can't wait. Everyone involved has been looking forward to talking about these moments, and we hope to be able to share them with you in the months and years to come.
That's right, and this is just the beginning. Now, the stage is set for all 4 divisions in Michigan to see who is going to be fighting for that state finals, for that state championship, and we'll be covering it all the way through. Be sure to come back next Sunday, 8 o'clock. Me and the newsman, Dan Stickrat, will be here to break down the top 15 teams in each of the 4 divisions, so be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow us on social media everywhere you can. Go to MichiganSoccerNetwork.com, find all the rankings that came out here today on our website, and share it around. Tell everybody what we got going on here at MSN. So, from our producer, Jonathan Turner, from Dan Stickrat, from myself, Giovanni Mosheri, we appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next week on the Michigan High School Ranking Show.
In for Baccarat, and that goes in! Hugo Baccarat gives Flint City a 3-2. Buckley, the ball falls to Buckley. 1-on-1 with Etheridge. What a save! Welcome into the first ever MSN All-State Media Day for girls soccer. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrat. Ball comes in, a good head! 1-0! Shot, another save from Etheridge! Rebound, and it goes in the back of the net. The Bulldogs up 1-0! Burzma, but then for Vlasma! 3-0! Stewart Heights with a shot! Upper 90 and in! Effectively today here on the Michigan Soccer Network, we are launching our new division of player recruitment videos. Mario Canoe now finds Stock. Finds Stock's got a left